What's going on, YouTubers? Welcome to another video. So, as the title stated, the question begs, does Flankster have the best statue collection in the world? Let's analyze this. So, here's the thing. Statues are emotionally, sentimentally attached to us in many ways based off how much we love the IP, what we grew up on, what's nostalgic to us. Of course, detail and concept paint is all agreeable in general with most collectors, but something like certain Batman statues and comic stuff I've never read, I personally don't care for. But for other collectors that grew up and love that, that means the world to them. So it's really to each their own, because some collectors may not like Lord of the Rings, believe it or not, or there's people that hate Transformers. So everything's really it's all in their opinion. So I've collected what I loved. There are definitely some IPs I wish I could collect, like certain animes, additional video games, stuff like that, maybe some more movies. But I have, for the most part, collected every single IP I love. There are, several IPs that just haven't been made in a good format yet. I really loved the movie Troy growing up. 300, I would love, of course, J&D or Prime 1 Blitzway 1/3 with Infinity Studio life-size bust, stuff like that. Obviously, you don't have Pirates, Harry Potter. I sold a lot of those IPs simply because the lack of the good statues from those IPs. So stuff like that. Nevertheless, based off what I have versus what others collectors have. But it's not just the statues, it's also the displays. I'm using obviously garage shelves, which are one of the cheapest possible options for statues. However, I do like the garage shelves because they're very open. I think they're a great alternative for people who don't want to do custom displays or pedestals. At the end of the day, if we're talking purely based off looks, what looks the best, I think it's a pedestal. A lighted up pedestal with a theme to the actual character. Imagine Sauron, instead of sitting 6 inches over a crappy $80 garage shelf, he was on a Lord of the Rings themed pedestal that had the Eye of Sauron and a bunch of orc writing or elvish writing. It lit up on the sides and whatnot. That would be infinitely cooler than what I have it on right now. So I've focused my collection on purely just getting as many statues as possible. Let's also talk about the fact that my house is not a super, super nice house. I bought this house brand new, 12 years ago or something. So in general, it is a newer house, but it's still not ultra premium by any means. There's plenty of collectors who have way better houses than me and better just displays in terms of the cabinets they displayed on, custom shelving, better lighting, stuff like that. I'm sure there's honestly thousands of collectors who have nicer houses, displays, and stuff like that. I just watched a video of a guy, Prime Collectibles. I don't know who that is. Maybe I've talked to him. I don't know. I really like the guy, though. If I knew him in person, I feel we'd be good friends because we have a lot of the same things we like. And he has not nearly as many statues as me. His number of statues could equate to basically one of my rooms. However, the way his house is insanely nice. Based off what he showed, I was yeah, that house is 1,000 times better than my house. Plus, he does custom light up pedestals and a very nice overall theme. Very modest, not crowded at all, but extremely nice. And I'm man, that is phenomenal. I would definitely love something like that. Now, I definitely have the addiction where I want more statues. Where those areas I saw were yeah, definitely put statues there. I definitely have the more crowded statue collection. And there's different types of collectors out there. There's those like me who just get as many statues as possible with minimal displays, but they just want more statues. The others who do very minimal statues, but really nice displays. Now it's sort of his. He probably owns 50 statues and a bunch of figurines and art prints, but he displays it extremely nice, which is very elegant looking. Or me, obviously, I have a very cluttered collection with statues and hallways and bathrooms. So, at the end of the day, I don't necessarily think I have the nicest collection, but I do have the most, number of best statues, if you know what I mean. I think I do display them good based off how I display them. I like the way I do my posters and props and stuff like that. And I do have the best number of statues. Based off every other collection I've seen in the world. I have not seen another collector who has a better number of statues than me. Like if you count just how many statues I have, not including the display, my house, and stuff like that, I do believe I have the best overall statues collection in the world. But definitely not the best display and definitely not the best house. Now, I am hoping to remify that with a new house in, the next 5 years. Like if my job continues the way it is, then I can afford that extremely nice house, do custom displays, have everything spread out more, and just overall look much nicer. So there are things like that that I will eventually improve. As of right now, I definitely do not have the best house or setup because I have garage shelving, crappy lighting, carpet, bad lighting, cluttered, stuff like that. So I definitely don't have the best in that terms. There's far superior. I've seen some really nice Asian collectors. I don't know their names or anything, but I've seen them off like Anton Wu's YouTube channel where he'll go to like some insanely wealthy collector in like Malaysia or some part of China or like Singapore, and they have just like probably like a $10 million mansion house and like an insane collection and all custom displays. And they have pretty large collections, not as big as mine, but they do have really nice like houses with like 4 floors and stuff like that. I know there's some really wealthy Filipino collectors that I've like talked to and whatnot. So there's definitely a lot of collections like that. So like I said, I believe I do have the best number of statues. If you just don't count the displays, the house, and you just look at who has the best number of statues, the best variety, the best detailed, the best rarity, and overall, I am definitely the best in my opinion. I think there are some that come a few close. In terms of the US, there's only a few that can come close to me. There is, what's his bucket? God, I'm drawing a blank. Guy in Florida who has a really nice collection, a lot of life size and whatnot. He has a lot of stuff similar to like this room, a lot of like the Marvel, Infinity, Queen Bus, Terminator, a lot of Star Wars. God, I'm drawing a blank on his freaking name. What is it? Jupiter. We actually talking. We're kind of friends. I can't remember. It's 5 a.m., folks. Nevertheless, he has a really nice collection. There are a few other hidden people out there that have really nice collections. I can't remember their names. There are a few other YouTubers that have some pretty nice collections. But definitely I have the most statues and the best variety in my opinion. But again, it's all based off what you like. That's the thing. So what other collectors are collecting, I don't simply care to collect, and vice versa. So to each his own. Collect what you love at the end of the day. But I do hope someday to have that like dream home. This is not my dream home. This is my starter home. I bought this when I was like 23 years old, folks. 23, 24. I was making 14, 15 bucks an hour at the time. I bought it for $207,000. It's 3,000 square feet. Now my next house, I want it to be 5,000 to 6,000 square feet. So probably double the size, but not only like bigger, I want it way nicer. Cause this is like a new build, but also a very cheap new build, if you know what I mean. So when I do get a new house, it's going to be a much nicer location, overall much bigger, and overall way nicer. We'll probably spend $1.5 million on our next house. Where this house right now, if you were to buy it, it's like $500,000 to $600,000 in Utah. So I'm definitely going to get a house that's way nicer in the future. It's going to take some time. Obviously, I need to save up to get it and whatnot. So we'll kind of see how the future unfolds. Sometimes at the end of the day, I do feel like, is it really necessary to have these many predators and aliens? Sometimes I feel like, you know what? I could just be satisfied with this to this. Obviously, upgrade that to the deep tail face hugger chamber. But at the end of the day, that could be like completely all I need for predator and alien. Although I do like having the life-size alien egg. So I'd also include that in the alien display. But sometimes I think like that. I'm like, man, do I really need all this? No. But I do love having like Berserker and Wolf. I like having Dog Alien, Alien Warrior. But at the end of the day, you really don't need that much. I feel like in general, that's all you need for Predator. Boom, that's it. Although you can supplement Cinemaquette for Prime 1. The reason Cinemaquette works better is because it scales better with this, and so for that reason alone, Cinemaquette works in that display better in my opinion. But I do often feel like that is all you truly need, unless you're like a true, like all you collect is Predator and Alien. For me, since I am collecting many, multiple lines, I do feel like it is excessive. When I look at all my other displays in this room, I don't have that many excessive. I would say the most second excessive is my Terminator display, considering I'm going to have multiple 1/3s and potentially multiple busts. So, yeah. Anyways, folks, I just watched that video today of Prime Collectibles. It was just making me think. So, like I said, I definitely do not have the nicest display, nicest layout and everything. I do like the way I display things, but there are definitely nicer out there. People who display theirs better than mine. But I do have the best number of statues, no doubt, in my opinion. I've not seen another collector who has better number of statues. There are some that come close, but I still believe I do have the best. So hopefully in the future, I can also claim, like, I don't know about the nicest house per se. Like, I'm not going to buy a $10 million mansion, but I am going to buy a really nice house. And I'm going to display it much better, and it's not going to be so cluttered. Because I do hate the clutterness. I really do, but I just love the statues more than the clutter, and so I deal with the clutter because I enjoy the statues. So, such is life, folks. Anyways, I'm going to hit the gym. Today is leg day. Believe it or not, I actually do work out my legs. Even though I have chicken legs, they just don't grow. But I'm not looking to compete on stage, so whatever. I mostly do legs for the weight loss benefit. It helps with testosterone, like doing squats. But I don't go heavy because I don't want bad knees. See you guys in the next one. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a great day.